Welcome to this comprehensive tutorial on building a simple chess game using Java. In this video, we'll walk you through the entire process step by step. By the end of this tutorial, you'll not only understand Java better, but also how to create a fun and engaging application. Before we dive in, let's discuss what we'll cover in this video. We'll look into defining our chess pieces, setting up the chessboard, implementing the game logic, and then finally, putting everything together to create a playable game. Let's start by setting up our environment. Make sure you have Java installed on your machine. We'll use a simple text-based interface for this tutorial. You can use any IDE, but I'm going to use IntelliJ IDEA. If you don't have it, you can download it from JetBrains' official website. Now that we have our environment set up, let's create a new Java project. In IntelliJ, go to File, select New, and then Project. Choose Java and click Next. Give your project a name like Chess Game and click Finish. Next, we want to define our chess pieces. In chess, we have different types of pieces: king, queen, rook, bishop, knight, and pawn. Each piece will have its own class. Let's start with a base class named Piece. This class will implement common functionality for all the chess pieces. In this class, we define properties such as color and name for each piece, and an abstract method is valid move that each piece will implement differently based on its movement rules. Now, let's create a class for each type of chess piece. Let's start with the pawn. I'll implement the rules for a pawn's moves. A pawn can only move forward one square but captures diagonally. Next, we'll create the rook class. The rook can move any number of squares along a row or column. Thus, we will implement that movement logic as well. Now, let's add the knight class, which moves in an L shape. The knight is the only piece that can jump over others. Next, we need the bishop class. A bishop moves diagonally any number of squares. Then we have the queen class, which can combine the moves of the rook and bishop. Let's implement her logic. Finally, we have the king class, which can move one square in any direction. Let's implement that now. Now that we have the basic pieces set up, let's create a chessboard class to manage the board and pieces. This class will handle the layout of the chessboard. In the chessboard class, we create an 8x8 grid to represent our chessboard, and we initialize it with the pieces at their starting positions. Next, we need methods to display the board and to move pieces. Let's implement the moving logic next. We will create a method that allows a piece to move given the starting and ending coordinates. Now, let's set up a simple game loop where players can input their moves. We'll create a game class to handle the game logic. In the start method of the game class, we have a loop that displays the board, takes the user input for moves, and updates the board accordingly. We also check if the move is valid or not. Let's implement a method to convert chess notation like E2 to array indices. We will also check for game termination conditions such as checkmate or stalemate. Make sure to handle exceptions for invalid input when parsing the moves. We'll also need a way to determine if a player's king is in check or checkmate, which requires keeping track of the game state. You will also need to implement methods for determining the end of the game, whether it's checkmate or if the game is a draw. This will involve checking the positions of the pieces continually. In conclusion, we have created a simple text-based chess game in Java, establishing the main components such as pieces, chessboard, and game rules. You can expand this game further by adding features like save/load game, player versus player over the network, or even a GUI. Thank you for watching this tutorial. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more programming tutorials. If you have questions or suggestions for future tutorials, leave a comment below. Happy coding!